In this video, I am going to give you the key answers for First Language English Second Model Question Paper from KSEEB. So let's discuss now the key answers for Second Model Question Paper. The first main question. Here 4 alternatives for each question. You need to select the correct answer. The first question. He confessed his guilt dash. The appropriate question tag to be added is. Look at here. There is no helping verb in this sentence. The main verb is confessed. This verb is in past form. So we need to select did here, and the question tag must be negative one because the statement is positive. That's why the correct option is didn't he. Second question. He put her through dash very hard training, before which even dash sturdiest boy would have quailed. The appropriate articles to be filled in the blanks are. In the first blank, we must put indefinite article, that is a, and in the second blank we must fill the definite article the, because the word sturdiest is in superlative form. So the correct option is B. Third question. The teacher along with her students dashed to the science exhibition. The correct form of the verb to be filled in the blank is has gone. Fourth question. Dr. Arvind heads the group of doctors at Manipal Hospital. The underlined word is a or an, noun, adjective, verb or adverb. Here heads is working as a action verb. That's why that is a verb. Fifth question. People dash riches in the world. The correct phrasal verb to be filled in the blank is run after. Sixth question. The moonlight sleeps sweetly upon the bank. Sixth question. The moonlight sleeps sweetly upon this bank. The figure of speech used here is personification. Second main question. Observe the relationship in the first pair of words and complete the second pair accordingly in the following. Bliss, ecstasy, reluctant, unwilling. These are synonyms. Meet, meet, gate, gate. These are homophones. Justice, justify. Memory, memorize. Here noun become verb. 10th question. Complete, incomplete. Nutrition, malnutrition. Here we need to add prefix to make that word antonym or opposite word. Third main question. Rewrite as directed. Change the voice of the sentence. They have cut the telephone wire. Answer is the telephone wire have been cut by them. 12th question. Frame a question to get the underlined word as answer. He searched for the lost watch everywhere. Where did he search for the watch? Question number 13. Rewrite the sentence as exclamatory. Della's hair was very beautiful. How beautiful Della's hair was. This is the answer. And the main question number 4. Answer the following questions in a sentence each. Question number 14. What mistake did the aerial messenger do? The answer is, he brought the wrong man who is unfit into the workers' paradise. Question number 15. Why was Pasteur pleased when appointed as head of a college of science at Lille? He always felt that trades and industries could be helped very much by the researches of men of science. So he thought that was the great opportunity to serve his country. That's why he was pleased. Question number 16. According to Lincoln, why should the teacher not cuddle his son? Because only the hardships in our life can teach us and make us strong in our life. So, giving him comfort by cuddling him is not a right idea. That's why Abraham Lincoln telling the teacher not cuddle his son. Question number 17. Why did Mr. Gaultier want to take eel pie to the mayor's house? Because the mayor of the town had invited Mr. Gaultier to dinner. Mr. Gaultier wanted to impress the mayor by giving him the eel pie. So, he wanted to take the eel pie to the mayor's house. Main question number 5. Answer the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences each. How did Della react when she saw Jim's gift for her? The answer is, at first she gave a scream of joy because she wished for that comb for a long time. Now her dream became true. But suddenly that joy turned to tears as she realized her loss. Question number 19. Write about the composition of eel pie as described by Pierre and John. Pierre said the composition was faultless. He also appreciated the flavor and crust. And John appreciated the tenderness and the plasticity of the pie. Question number 20. How is the end of the female crane suggested in the poem? In her grief, she couldn't survive and a wave of the seas came and brought her body towards its male partner. Here, the wave of the seas indicates the messenger of God or heavenly body. Question number 21. What did Drona seek from Bhutto as recompense and why? Drona seek right hand thumb from Bhutto because Drona wanted to keep up the promise he had made to Arjuna. Question number 22. According to John misspelled, what might happen if the grave's gates could be undone? If the grave's gates could be undone, she would be ashamed of her son because she can see what is going on in the world, how women are being ill-treated in the society. The men trample women's rights. Question number 23. Why did Indra approach Karna? Indra foresaw that a supreme contest was inevitable between his son Arjuna and Karna. He wanted to make Karna weak. That's why he approached Karna. Question number 24. How does Bhima ridicule Karna? Roared with laughter, and he called Karna as a son of chariot, and he is only fit to drive a chariot befitting of his parentage. Main question number 6. Rewrite as directed. Change the following sentence to the other two degrees of composition. Main question number 6. Rewrite as directed. Change the following sentence to the other two degrees of comparison. Solomon was one of the wisest kings in the world. This sentence is in superlative form, so we need to write comparative and positive form. The comparative form is Solomon was wiser than most other kings in the world. And the positive degree, very few kings in the world are as wise as Solomon. Question number 26. Change the following sentence to reported speech. He said, "The rain that fell last night washed away the huts." He said that the rain that had fallen the previous night washed away the huts. Question number 27. Combine the sentences using to and so that not. Life is beautiful. I cannot think of ugly things. Life is too beautiful to think of ugly things. And the second sentence is so that not. Life is so beautiful that I cannot think of ugly things. Main question number 7. Answer the following questions in 5 to 6 sentences each. Question number 28. Explain the life in workers' paradise before the arrival of the wrong man. The men in the workers' paradise had time for everything, but they didn't have the time for leisure. They spent the entire day for working, and this work gave them extreme pleasure. People were always bustling about doing some useful work. The men of workers' paradise used to say, "God, we haven't a moment to spare." And women used to say, "Let's move on, time is a-flying." And all of them exclaiming, "Time is precious. We have our hands full. We make use of every single minute." Question number 29. Summarize what Abraham Lincoln wants his son to be taught about the positive and negative sides of life. You need to write any 6 points. The answer: Abraham Lincoln asks the teacher to teach these values to his son. For every scoundrel there is a hero. For every selfish politician there is a dedicated leader. For every enemy there is a friend. The teacher should teach him that it is more honorable to fail than cheat. He should have faith in his own ideas, even if all the people tell him that his ideas are wrong. He should teach him to be gentle with gentle people and tough with tough people. The teacher should try to give the boy the strength not to follow the crowd. He should be taught to listen to all men, but he should learn to differentiate truth from. Question number 30. Explain how the poet Basavanna believes that God is present within ourselves and not in any temple. Basavanna said he was poor, so he could not build beautiful temples for cement and bricks like the rich. He considered his body itself as the temple of God because God is housed in the soul of man. He considers his legs as pillars, his body as the shrine, head a cupola of gold. All the material things are perishable. The spiritual things like soul and good deeds are permanent. Question number 31. Why did Drona bless Bhutto and what were the blessings? Even though he was rejected knowledge by Drona, he still worshipped Drona as his teacher and learnt the science of archery by himself. Bhutto was humble student and acknowledged Drona as his inspiration. When Drona asked his right hand thumb as Guru Dakshina, Bhutto understands his teacher's dilemma when Drona announces that he is doing this for Arjuna's sake and to keep his own promise to Arjuna. Hence, Bhutto doesn't regret cutting his thumb. For this sacrifice, Drona blessed Bhutto as his name and fame can reach the whole world and people can link his name with self-help, truth and modesty. Question number 32. Describe the land and the life of the Cyclops. Cyclops were giant and they are shepherds. They neither sew nor plugged, but the earth untilled produced for them rich wheat and barley and grapes. Yet they had neither bread nor wine, nor knew the arts of cultivation, nor cared to know them. They lived separately without the contact of other men, and without laws or government or anything like a state or kingdom. Their dwellings are in caves on the steep heads of mountains. Every man's household governed by his own caprice or not governed at all. They didn't have boats or ships, so they could not trade or commerce or wish to visit other shores. Yet they have convenient places for harbors and for shipping. Question number 33. Why is it necessary to prevent soil erosion and how can it be done? The soil erosion is a very big problem because soil is the basement for agriculture. We need to take the following steps to stop the soil erosion. Prevention methods: terracing of lands, construction of burns, the practice of counter cultivation, planting of appropriate vegetation, adopting modern techniques in agriculture. By adopting these techniques, we can prevent the soil erosion. You can explain these points. The option for that question: what does Anne's diary reveal about? She wrote the life and problems they had faced in an annex. She recorded all her thoughts and feelings. She recorded her adolescence life with its innocence in a harsh world. She compared herself to a songbird whose wings have torn and trying to fly in darkness. She expressed her trust towards her father. She was sad because she feels her mother does not understand her. She wrote about her first kiss exchanged with Van Don's 17-year-old son. We can see her courageous life in the diary. Main question number 8. Explain with reference to the context. Question number 34. Please God, make him think I am still pretty. This line has been taken from the lesson The Gift of the Magi, written by O. Henry. Here, Della requested God like this after she had cut off her hair. To buy a Christmas gift for her husband, she sold her beautiful hair. After losing her hair, she was looking like a schoolboy. She was afraid to the reply of her husband because he might be angry. So she was requested God to make her beautiful without her hair in the eyes of Jim. Question number 35. Yes, October is the best time. This line has been taken from the lesson The Eyes Are Not Here, written by Ruskin Bond. The narrator told the above words to the girl. The narrator wanted to hide his blindness in front of the girl, so he started to describe Missouri. He remembered his childhood memories and described the beauty of Missouri. He told about the hills covered with wild dahlias, the delicious sun, quiet and deserted roads, etc., and said that October is the best time to visit Missouri. Question number 36. She was a real problem child, a great talker and fond of nice clothes. This line has been taken from the lesson The Girl Who Was Anne Frank by Louis de Jong. Anne Frank's father said the above words. Anne Frank was not brilliant, but she was emotional and strong-willed when she was a child. While describing about her, her father said the above words. Question number 37. She circled the sky in movements of grace. This line has been taken from the poem To a Pair of Sarus Cranes. The poet is Manmohan Singh. The poet Manmohan Singh brings out the feelings of female crane on the death of its male partner. After the hunters killed the male bird, they picked the dead body with hands and jaws, and the proud neck was humbled like dirty linen. They stuffed it into a coarse bag, just as one puts dirty clothes into a bag and left the place. During that time, the female bird was circling the sky with lot of pain in heart. After hunter's departure, the female bird returned to the death scene. She picked a few blood-stained feathers, kissed them and sat on them desperately to hatch them into a toddling chick. Question number 38. My mother's life made me a man. This line has been selected from the poem CLM, written by John Masefield. The poet's mother died during childbirth. The poet states how he began his journey in his mother's womb, which was dark, and how his mother had lost her beauty because of his birth and made him a man. Recalling his mother's pain during childbirth, the poet used the above words. Quote from memory. You need to memorize these two poems, The Poison Tree and The Vachana. Yes, the long question and answers. Main question number 10th. Answer the following questions in 7 to 8 sentences each, and these questions carry 4 marks each. Question number 40. The narrator was haunted by a mysterious presence within him, even many days after the stolen boat experience. Explain. After stealing the boat, scared of that huge black shape, the poet hurries back towards the cave he had stolen the boat from, and returns home with a grave heart and a heavy conscience. The poet reminisces that incident. He had spent many days suffering from nightmares of the grim, huge shape. He says that the familiar forms, colors, and shapes of nature that he had been accustomed to were replaced by the images of this huge mountain. This mountain, according to Wordsworth, was not a passive structure made of rocks or stone. It was like a living being, yet different from living beings. It had taken over his thoughts by days and dreams by night. For many a day, he was tormented by the memory and solitude. Even though he realizes it's only an optical illusion, that the mountain was chasing him. It weighed heavy on his conscience, and he realized the presence of beings unknown and unfathomable to him. For a long time, no other pleasant images came to his mind. Question number 41. How did Pasteur address the gathering at the opening of Institut Pasteur in Paris in 1888? At the opening of the institute in 1888, Pasteur said about the two laws which are opposing each other and now in contest. The first one is a law of blood and death, opening out each day new methods of destruction, forces nations to be always ready for the battle. The second law is a law of peace, work and health, whose only aim is to deliver man from the disasters which surrounded him. The second one seeks violent conquests, but the other the relief of mankind. Which of these two laws will prevail, God only knows. But of this we may be sure that science, in obeying the law of humanity, will always labor to enlarge the frontiers of life. These are the conclusive words of Pasteur. The option question for that. Water is the basis of all life and its preservation is fundamental for human welfare. Explain. Here I am giving many points. You can select any good points from these points and write the answer. It brings fertility and prosperity even to deserts. The silt which is carried and deposited on the land by the rivers is fertile and good for agriculture. Water is vital for physiological activities for animals and birds and plants. Rivers are needed to generate hydroelectricity. Every animals and plants are depending on water. Water is the reason for many civilizations in history. Water is the foundation for agriculture. Through the text we can find these points. River Nile and Libyan Desert. The banks of the River Nile is very green. It is populated and full of life and forest. But the opposite side is the Libyan Desert. It is bare and dry, and there were no animals and plants. The beauty of nature. Water enhances the beauty of nature. Water sources are the mirror of the mood of the day. In villages, small streams are very beautiful. The cattle come to drink water. That is a beautiful scene to watch. Rainfed tanks in South India. These rainfed tanks in South India are very beautiful. We can watch sunrise on sunset through them. They are very important for agriculture. They provide irrigation facility for agriculture. Question number 42. Explain how, according to Gandhiji, a good act should also be done with good intentions. Whether an act is moral or not depends upon the intention of the doer. Two men may have done exactly the same thing, but the act of one may be moral and that of other the contrary. Here Gandhiji giving us an example. A man who out of great pity feeds the poor and another who does the same but with the motive of winning name and fame. Though the action is the same, the act of the one is moral and that of the other is non-moral. While thinking of morality, all that we need to see is that The act is good and is done with good intention. The result of an action is not within our control. God alone is the giver of fruit, but we must have good intention. Write about Otto Frank's family and his business before Nazis invaded Netherlands in May 1940. Otto Frank was a banker living in Germany. He had married in 1925. In 1926, his first daughter, Margaret, was born, and 3 years later, his second, Anneliese Mary. In the autumn of 1933, when Hitler was issuing one anti-Jewish decree after another, Otto Frank decided to emigrate to the hospitable Netherlands. He started a small firm in Amsterdam. Shortly before the outbreak of war, he took in a partner, Mr. Van Dorn, a fellow refugee. They traded in spices. Business was often slow. Once Otto Frank was forced to ask his small staff to accept a temporary cut in their modest wages. No one left. They all liked his warm personality. They admired his courage and the evident care he took to give his two girls a good education. Main question number 11. Read the following passage carefully and answer the questions given below. Read this passage, then you can answer the questions. Here I am giving the answers. What are the primary duties of the student community? The answer is, their primary duty is not only to study properly, but to qualify themselves well for the tasks of tomorrow. Second question. Which is the right path for the students? The answer is, they should always remain wakeful, keep their eyes and ears open, ready to take part if it becomes inevitable, but never without second thought. They shouldn't forget what they owe to their parents, the public and the country. Yes, main question number 12. Here you need to write one essay. Here two topics. You can select any one of them and you can write the essay. I will give detailed essay in next video. And also here is a letter writing, 5 marks question. This is also. So you need to write one letter. Here two questions are there. You can select any one of them and you can write answer. Thank you for watching the video. I will come with another informative video very soon. Thank you and bye bye.